powerful episode of Healthy Mind, Healthy Life, the podcast where we explore the tools, truths, and even the trials that help us live with the purpose, peace, and the power. So, today we are diving into a topic that touches every single one of us, like whether we are raising children, leading teams, or simply trying to lead ourselves with the intention. So, dear listeners, our guest today is someone who embodies all three, like Marine officer, father, award winning author, and the leadership mentor. So, please welcome Olaolu Ogunyemi. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I think your show is very important, and it's just going to be a great conversation. I'm looking forward to it.
Amazing, amazing. So, dear listeners, before we delve deep into the discussion, I'll quickly love to introduce you with Olaolu. So, uh, he is on a mission to inspire, connect, and empower the next generation. Like his blend of military precision, parenting wisdom, and soulful storytelling has transformed lives in the boardrooms, classrooms, and living rooms across the country. And today we are going to unpack something powerful, like how the principles of great leadership um, can and should shape the way uh, that we present, like the parent love and uh, life. So I'll not take much of your time, dear listeners. Let's get started. Welcome to the show again.
Yeah, thank you.
Great, great. So, so Olawa, like you have led Marines and you have led the little ones at home as well. So both demand the empathy, adaptability, and vision. Uh, I mean, how do those same principles that make someone a strong leader on the battlefield or in the boardroom translate into being a strong parent at home? What do you have to say?
That's a great question. So I would start by saying every leadership characteristic or trait that you have, that you grew up with, that you learned from your experience is important, whether you're at home or at work. So some of the things that you can learn in the workplace, especially in the military, is you learn that your job isn't necessarily to just be the loudest voice in the room. And sometimes you may need to be, but it's not necessarily your job. Your job is to provide resources to help everyone thrive and succeed. And that's the same thing when you come back home. You're trying to create an environment for your children. You're trying to nurture them and guide them and protect them in a way that allows them to grow into the society contributing adults that you want them to be. So, really, your job never changes. It's really getting to know the people in your office or getting to know your children, helping them to understand the world around them, and then providing the resources they need so that way they can go be great either in the workplace or at home.
No way. Yeah. And do you think that sometimes parents underestimate the just how much of a leader they really are?
Oh, absolutely. And I talk to parents all the time, and that's something that it's hard to wrap your mind around because they're your children. Yeah, when you're at home, that's the best place for you to be authentic, to be yourself, to be loving. You could be silly, you could be whatever you want. And sometimes it's easy to just say, "Well, I'm at home, I'm comfortable," and forget that our children are probably the first people who are going to see us in every aspect of our life and all of our vulnerabilities. They see all our mistakes, and really they see the example that you set. So really, I think you're more of a leader. I argue that you're more of a leader at home because of the complete access that your children have to you than you are in the workplace in some regards. Because your children get to see you as you, and that's the thing that you have to continue to refine yourself in a way to where your children are now seeing authentic you, but knowing that that person that they're seeing is not going to lead them astray. And that's the same thing in the workplace. So, yes, I agree that a lot of parents, and myself included, didn't necessarily look at being a parent at home as a leadership or even it being practiced for leading outside of the home. Instead, they just sort of look at it as, these are my kids, this is my family, and I'm just going to be who I am, and they have to accept me for who I am. And that's not necessarily being intentional when it comes to leadership.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, and I mean, that's really powerful, man. I mean, what I hear you saying is that whether we realize it not, kids don't just listen to what we say. They are following our vision, our emotional tone, and our adaptability. So, in a way, like parenting is not just about managing the moment, but also about casting a vision for the family, like just like a kid does it for the team, right? So yeah, and
No, you're exactly right.
yeah, and like what do you say? Like, how do you practically balance those roles, like marine officer, husband, father, founder, like without burning out or feeling like you are shortchanging one area of life?
Great question. So I always advocate for building habits that support the person you want to be. So all of us want to be very good parents. We want to be very good at work and leadership. So first of all, create habits that help you with that. And so examples. So I always advocate for building your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. That's the first thing I tell people. But what I always encourage people is to do that first thing in the morning. I ask people, I challenge people to take about 30 minutes for each one of those every single morning. If you can't do 30 minutes, at least do 10. And that means when you wake up, so I'll give an example of what I do. So first thing I do is I wake up at 4 in the morning. And that's, I'm not saying you have to wake up at 4 a.m., but I am saying that that's what time I get up. And the first thing I do is I do my meditation and my devotion. That's me focusing on my spiritual and mental health. Then I go into the gym. Once I get to the gym, I do my strength training for 50 minutes and I do my cardio for 30 minutes. Now I've worked on my physical health. And then I go back and I pick up a book. And I usually do about 30 minutes of reading, whether it be reading a physical book or I'm listening to an audio book or even a podcast, something that's going to stimulate my mind. And as you can see now, I've covered all four areas. I've done the emotional and spiritual by my meditation and devotion. I've done my physical by going to the gym and finding some way to work out. And then I do my mental by picking up a book or listening to a podcast or audiobook to stretch my mind. And that's how you set the tone for your entire day. I would say that's the first thing that you do. Set the tone for your own self-improvement first thing in the morning and don't allow yourself not to get into that habit. And the other thing I'll add to that is I recommend journaling. I also write first thing in the morning alongside my meditation and devotion. And then moving beyond that, your habits have to support the person you want to be. So I also advocate for what I call a closed door policy, which I know is counterintuitive, and that's why I talk about it. Because I believe that a lot of things that we have, we get burnt out because people have continuous access to us. And I don't recommend that you allow people to have continuous access to you. You have to train people by establishing boundaries. And that's something I've always encouraged people to do. And I've been trying to do more in my life in recent years to make sure that I have the boundaries set, not just in the workplace, but even at home. So when I close my door, that's me telling my children that, hey, now is time for me to spend time with your mother, to invest time with her. When I open the door and I close it again and I'm on the other side, now it's time for me to spend time with my children. When I'm at work, if I'm trying to work on a task, I close my door so I can finish the task and then I open it and vice versa. And same thing happens. And I continue to do this, but I'm establishing habits and I'm establishing boundaries that support the lifestyle I want to have. So those are just a couple of tips that I have for people who want to really achieve success and be high performers without getting burnt out.
Totally agree on this. Totally agree. Yeah. And do you believe that the balance is even real, or is it more about constant alignment depending on the season that you're in?
That's a perfect way to look at it. You're right. It is a perfect alignment because if you try to just take a very regimented approach to it, what you're going to do is you're going to burn people out, burn other people out. So you may yourself may be fine, but you'll burn people out, and then people won't actually view you as a person they can come to. They may not view the environment that they're in as a safe environment. So you're right. You do have to adapt or at least be agile rather to understand the environment you're in and adjust accordingly. So what I'm and I'm glad you called that out because I think a lot of people get discouraged from doing these things because they feel like that it's just tough. You know, They don't have any time for being spontaneous with their family. They're not able to be creative with their teams and so on and so forth because they believe that they're being too regimented. But you're right, it is required. We do have to adapt to their environment and adapt to the team that we have. And really, the way I recommend doing this is allow your team to teach you how to lead them best. They'll tell you what they need from you. They'll even tell you what they want, and your children will do the same thing. So allow them to teach you how to lead them, and they'll tell you and teach you how much time you need to invest with them. And you'll find out. I have 3 children, and I don't spend equal amount of time with each child, and I don't love any child any more or less than the other. But not all 3 of them require the same amount of time. So I love the point that you made there. It's not about trying to find an equal amount of time or trying to make it so regimented. Instead, it's about finding out what works for those individuals that you're leading to give them the best chance to succeed.
Exactly. Mm. And like in your writing, you emphasize the power of small, consistent habits, things like intentional family time, gratitude practices, and structured routines. So, why do you think that these seemingly simple practices have such a big impact on the mental clarity and emotional stability for both the kids and the adults?
Yeah, because in one case, when we don't do these small things and we're in our minds, I think we're preparing to do something big, and it never happens. We never can find time to do the big thing, and so the reason we do these incremental moments, or we have these moments that are very important, though they may seem small, they're extremely big to the person you're leading, and that's because what you're doing is you're showing them that they matter. You're showing them that you value their opinion, you value their presence, you value their thoughts, and that's really what motivates them. It's not necessarily the act itself, because you're right. Some of them are extremely small. For example, when at some point I'm going to go outside with my young puppy, and I'm just going to run with him. I'm going to chase him around. He's going to run. He's small, so he's going to run probably for about 10 minutes until he runs out of energy, and then we're going to come back inside. That 10 minutes is pretty small, but what that does is it shows him that I'm willing to invest time with him, even as a puppy. So that way we can grow our relationship together. And the reason that helps so much is because it starts to build a connection, and that's what we have to. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're paying attention to. We're trying to build a connection with those we lead, so that way they know that they can come to us with anything. And that's why it's so important for our mental and emotional health is because the more people we're able to connect with authentically, the better our life the better we are when we get into some of the harder circumstances. There's many times that I've been in situations where I just had to pick up the phone. Here recently, I had to pick up the phone and call my little brother, who's 5 years younger than me, but still, I called him and I was able to just talk to him. And he was able to help me through the situation I was in, not because I just needed so much guidance, but because I just needed to know that I had a safe person that I can rely upon. But that was built over time from the many times that we spent, fighting, times we spent playing sports together, playing video games, just clowning and hanging out. All those small moments let me know that I'm safe to be around him. And he knows, and all my friends and family know that I'm the person they can be safe around. And that's just why you do that. You're establishing those connections with those people. So that way they know that you're there for them in high and low times.
That's a very great saying, I'd say. I mean, we always try to look for a safe space, but definitely it's that trust basically which we um, build. So yeah, true, definitely true. And for the families like who feel too busy or overwhelmed, so what's the one habit you would suggest like they start with today?
Yeah, so the first habit I would say, and this is something I just started practicing, building emotional intelligence. And the one thing that I would say with your families that are super busy, take time to just talk. Stop and ask, not just how was your day, but how do you feel about your day? That's important. Don't allow the child or yourself to just say good. That's the thing that we default to. Take it beyond that. Identify real feelings. And what you can do is I recommend searching for the list of feelings in relation to emotional intelligence. I have about probably 100 hanging up on my wall that my children can go look at. And now the reason I'm doing that is because I'm trying to raise all of our levels of emotional intelligence and showing them, okay, let's talk about your day. Let's identify the emotion because that's the first step. A lot of times we don't even know how to do that effectively. So let's identify the emotion. And if it's a happy emotion, let's see if we can sustain that. If it's joyous, let's see if we can sustain that and keep you energetic and joyous and happy. If it's not, then let's talk about it. Let's see how we can, if there's something that we need to help you out with, or if you just need somebody to talk to. So I would say if there's one habit that we want to, I'm encouraging people to start today. I would encourage you to just start asking your children, ask your team members, how do you feel today? How do you feel about this event that just happened? How do you feel about the weather? How do you feel about the first day of school? How do you feel about that sporting event that you tried out for? How do you feel about starting? Whatever it is, start asking those questions and getting involved and start letting each other know that you actually do care about each other. You care about each other's emotions and feelings and opinions. And I think it starts with just understanding how people feel.
Very well said. Yeah. Lovely. And like many parents and the leaders, they feel like they are barely surviving, but you challenge people to see themselves as the builders of the next generation. So, what shift in mindset is required for someone to move, uh, like, what is
If
it?
you think it
Uh, so, like, uh, to move from surviving the chaos of daily life to thriving as a parent and as a leader.
Yeah, yeah. So first thing is give yourself some grace. Give yourself a break. A lot of times, people feel like they're treading water. Uh, a lot of times it's not necessarily because they have so much going on. In some cases, there is a lot going on, and you may need to reschedule some things and say no sometimes. But in a lot of cases, we feel like overwhelmed because because we've created this environment in which we almost feel like we have to be perfect in so many areas. And I'll start by telling you, I'm far from perfect as a parent, as a leader, as a dad, as a husband, as a Marine. It doesn't matter. I'm far from perfect in any category, and I give myself grace. And to be honest with you, when you build those relationships, people give you grace as well, especially your children. So that's the first thing.
Mhm.
Give yourself a break and allow yourself to know that that you are able to make mistakes. You're able to accidentally miss something. You know, if you miss a game that you're supposed to be at, it's okay. You know, you wanted to go to that game. You know, it wasn't your intention to miss the game, but you missed it because you overslept. It is what it is. Talk to the child and work it out. The second thing is know when to say no. A lot of us don't know when to say no. We want to succeed, and some of us are extremely ambitious. We're really high achievers, and but we still want to build our social life, and we have all these things going on. We need to start number one, take inventory of all the things that we're doing, and then figure out what are those things in my life that I need to chop away or at least delay until I get to a new season in my life. Because there's some things that we do that are costing us a lot of stress and angst. But it's not necessarily helping us towards our goal in this season of our lives. So we need to make sure that everything that we're doing aligns to get us to where we're trying to go. So you have to learn to say no. That's even in some cases it's easier for people at work and in a social environment than it is for our kids because we want to provide for our children, which is admirable. But remember, if you're burnt out or you're overwhelmed, you're not able to give 100% of yourself, which means you're really doing a disservice to your children. And I say that from a personal spot because I know how it is to be overwhelmed and be burnt out and still trying to contribute to my children and give them everything they need. And in reality, I was giving them even worse than what I thought I was going to give them because I was tired and I couldn't give them the energy I needed to. So I believe those are probably the first two things that you need to do to give yourself a break. And if you are in a way in a time where you're trying to still figure out where you're going, because that's another thing. As I talk to parents and adults, a lot of times they're feeling overwhelmed because they don't know what's next. And I know it's a lot of us. A lot of us are still fresh out of the COVID-19 years, and it seems like that's so long ago, but some of us still haven't recovered from that. And there's other changes happening in the world that we're struggling to recover from. So just understand that, yeah, you're gonna have to clarify your future before you're able to really get rid of that feeling of being overwhelmed. And what that looks like It's just going and sitting down, taking a break, getting outside, walk around, and allow your mind to wander. That's something I always recommend to people. I say that we need to bring back daydreaming. I know as children we were told, "Hey, stop daydreaming. You know, pay attention and all this." But I think we need to bring back daydreaming. What I recognize in my studies is that a lot of successful people daydream, and what I mean by that is they walk around, they go outside, they have some kind of daily habit, to where they're just having the opportunity to just clear their mind and think about what they want to do, think about who they want to be, and they continue to find ways and refine their way of thinking until they're able to achieve the things they want to achieve. And so that's one of the things I recommend is that, bring back daydreaming, figure out where you want to go. But in order to do that, you got to dream again. You can't just don't get so stuck in the rat race or the survival mode that you're not able to dream anymore. And I know it's hard. It's easy to say from the other side of it, but trust me, I've been where you are. I've been in the struggle. I've had my accounts in the negative multiple times, and I've had to overcome that. But it started with me dreaming and trying to understand where I need to go. And then once I realized that, it's starting to execute the plan. So those are the tips I have for people who may be feeling overwhelmed, but want to still connect with their family or teams.
Very true. Yep. And so, any suggestion or advice you'd like to share with the listeners today?
Yeah, so I definitely love this topic, and I appreciate you giving the opportunity. Excuse me, the opportunity. And I just want to say that the reason I'm doing what I do is because I believe that when leaders start connecting with their children or their teams, we truly can leave an impact on the world. And it starts with just sitting down and having a conversation. So if you don't remember anything else, remember that it starts with a conversation. It starts with a smile. It starts with writing a journal. It starts with all the simple things that we started looking over, but whatever you do, build that connection with those you lead, build that connection with your children, and just start. Start today. Start now. I don't care what you did in the past. Start now and start building that relationship today. So that way you open up those lines of communication and we can start building impactful leaders and leave a legacy on this earth.
That's a very, very well said. Definitely. It's really very true. And Olalo, like this has been such a rich and energizing conversation. And I'd say you have reminded us that the leadership isn't controlled to a uniform or a job title, but it's woven in the way that we love, guide, and model resilience for our families. So, um, dear listeners, like maybe today is your call to stop seeing yourself as just a stressed parent or just a tired professional and start seeing yourself as a builder of the next generation, like through small habits, intentional presence, and a mindset shift from survival to legacy. You can shape a healthier future for yourself and those who you lead. So, like if someone wants to connect with you, what would be the great medium to connect?
Yes, that was a great way to summarize that too. And the best way to connect with me is you go to my website, www.parent-child-connect.com. You'll see all the resources I have, every way to contact me. You'll see more about me. But I'll love for you to come visit me. Go ahead and send me a message. Again, it's parent-child-connect.com.
Perfect, perfect. So, dear listeners, what I'll do is I'll put all the links into the show notes for your easy reference. And with this hope, until next time, remember that uh, this is a healthy mind builds a healthy life, and a healthy life builds a healthy legacy. So, with this hope, stay strong, stay present, and keep building. So, thank you so much.